Hello and welcome to this Google Hangout on Air. I am AJ D'Amico and today we will be covering supply chain management. Here's an overview of what we will be covering. First, we will look at what supply chain management is and how supply chain management works. Then we will cover the three main flows of supply chain management while looking at its three main goals. I will first answer the question, what is supply chain management? Supply chain management is most simply the management of the flow of goods and services. Supply chain management is the oversight of materials, information, and finances as they move in a process from supplier to manufacturer to wholesaler to retailer and then finally to the consumer. Supply chain management involves coordinating and integrating these flows both within and among companies. From a business standpoint, supply chain management is the streamlining of a business's supply side activities to maximize customer value and to gain a competitive edge in the marketplace. Supply chain management represents an effort by suppliers to develop and implement supply chains that are as efficient and economical as possible. Supply chains cover everything from production to product development to the information systems needed to direct these undertakings. Supply chain management does not involve only the movement of physical products, such as microchips, through the chain, but also any data that goes along with the products, such as order status forms, payment schedules, and ownership titles, and the actual entities that handle the product from stage to stage of the supply chain. The next question I will answer is, how does the supply chain management work? Supply chain management is a cross-functional approach that includes managing the movement of raw materials into an organization, certain aspects of the internal process of materials into finished goods, and the movement of finished goods out of the organization and toward the end consumer. Now let's take a deeper look into how it works and see how each part can affect the supply chain. Let's start with product movement. The movement or workflow of product plays a vital role in designing supply chain models. Movement of the product needs to be managed well to achieve success in any business. Timely movement of a product from one unit to another, appropriate quality checks at each point, and quick deliveries are key components to completely satisfy customer needs. Supply chain management must help to define the process of product movement. When it comes to information sharing and communication, inappropriate communication can lead to disaster in businesses. Supply chain management models should be designed such that it has an appropriate flow of information movement from one point to another while conducting business. Timely orders and deliveries are always important. Supply chain management models must meet the deadlines from the beginning till the end of the order. Organization's success is solely depending on how successful the delivery of products is and when it reaches the customer's hands. Right from the order processing to manufacturing, receiving, and quality checks, and until the delivery to the customer, supply chain management models must be fine-tuned appropriately. Performance management is another important aspect to be considered to gain long-term success. The supply chain management model should have a system to regularly conduct performance reviews, quality checks after delivery so that the service after delivery is well taken care of. The continuous business growth needs to be considered while designing supply chain management systems. When you look at supply chain management systems, you need to recognize three main flows. The first being the product flow, the second being information flow, and the third, the financial flow. The next three slides will look at what each of these flows has to offer to supply chain management. The product flow includes the movement of goods from a supplier to a customer, as well as any customer returns or service needs. The product flow allows anyone who is dealing with the product to know how and where the product is moving. The information flow involves transmitting orders and updating the status of delivery. The information flow allows customers to know when their order will be delivered. The financial flow consists of credit terms, payment schedules, and consignment and title ownership arrangements. The financial flow lets customers know how much they need to pay and when, and they also are in charge of stating when the ownership of the product is transferred. Now onto the three main goals of supply chain management. The first goal is to reduce inventory. The second is to increase the speed of transaction with real-time data exchange. And the third is to increase revenue by satisfying customers' demands more efficiently. When reducing inventory, you always want to have the assumption that products are available when needed. Companies should always have enough inventory in stores to have it available when customers want it, but it should never be too overstocked. Another goal is to increase the speed of transactions. Using real-time data can increase the speed of transactions and get things done more efficiently. The last goal of supply chain management is to increase revenue. The best way to increase revenue is by satisfying customers' demands more efficiently. The cheapest and most effective way you get the product to the customer while keeping them satisfied will increase revenue. Supply chain management is a great resource. It can guide your business to success when used correctly. If your business follows the flow and does its best to achieve the main goals of supply chain management, it will be successful. Here are my sources, and thank you for listening to my presentation on supply chain management.